Hi guys, Karan Ratti here again. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to talk about the hot topic of salicylic acid and why you need to be super careful when using salicylic acid, and not just salicylic acid, but any hydroxy acids. Now, to understand that, what are hydroxy acids? Hydroxy acids are acids that have a lot of hydroxyl groups. They are commonly glycolic acid, lactic acid, mandelic acid, citric acid, salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is also oil soluble, so it's slightly different from these other hydroxy acids. But basically, hydroxy acids have the ability to exfoliate the skin by breaking the linkages between the cells. Now, you know that we have the dead layer of our skin on top, which is called the skin's natural barrier. It has dead cells as bricks, it has the lipid layer as the cement, and then it has corneodesmosomes that join these cells together to keep them intact in place. The skin really wants this natural barrier to be there so that the skin and your body is protected from the environment, from bacteria, from pollution, from dust, from viruses. And maintaining a healthy skin barrier is very important to prevent any skin sensitivity issues. If your skin barrier gets impaired, then you're going to have issues like acne, breakouts, redness, irritation, and sensitivity to even skincare products, because skincare products have ingredients. And if your skin barrier is disrupted, then they can penetrate very quickly into the skin and overload your system or overload your skin, and it'll react back. And those are all the symptoms that you can get. So when you're using salicylic acid, what happens is that salicylic acid is able to destroy these linkages between cells and exfoliate the skin. Because it is oil soluble, it can actually penetrate very deeply into the skin. Now, the moment acids, any acids, penetrate into the skin, they cause something called inflammation. And inflammation is redness. Even if it's microinflammation, you will not be able to see it, but it's an inflammation. It's going to trigger a healing response in the skin. Now, whenever a healing response after inflammation is triggered, there's a certain cell in the skin called melanocyte, which produces pigment. This melanocyte cell's single job is to check whether the skin around me is getting damaged or not. And if it is getting damaged, its job is to produce more melanin to darken your skin so that sunlight cannot penetrate and damage it even more. If the skin if the skin barrier is compromised, or if the skin is getting inflamed, these are signals for the melanocyte cell. And the melanocyte cell starts thinking, it's like a warrior cell, right? It's like a security guard. And it's going to start thinking that, hey, the skin is damaged, my buddies around me are also getting damaged. And now what's going to happen is that the moment this guy steps out into the sun, he's going to get much more solar radiation, because the skin barrier has become thinner, because it's become exfoliated. And there's inflammation in the body. And so the solar radiation that's going to penetrate is going to create reactive oxygen species that's going to damage me. So I am supposed to synthesize more pigment as a sunscreen, as a natural sunscreen that our body produces, to prevent this solar radiation from coming inside. And that is why when you use hydroxy acids or any kind of acid on your skin that exfoliates and removes dead skin layer, it can cause inflammation and it can trigger pigmentation. So acids are okay for people who have lighter skin tones, who generally don't get pigmentation, who don't have pigment-prone skin, because they are at a lesser chance or at a lesser risk of developing pigmentation after the use of acids. But people with pigment-prone skin, for example, 80% of the Indian population tends to have pigment-prone skin. And what is pigment-prone skin? Well, you get tan very easily. You already have pigmentation, which means discoloration of your face. You have excess pigmentation in some areas. You have dark spots. You have diffuse hyperpigmentation, or you have melasma. So if you have pigment-prone skin, you got to be very careful with the use of hydroxy acids, including salicylic acid. You don't want to use very high concentrations. You don't want to use it for too long. Now, if you have stuff like acne, back acne, and other things, or let's say you have roughness, yes, hydroxy acids can exfoliate your skin and reduce that. So they are beneficial in some ways. And hydroxy acids can also synthesize more ceramides. They can also trigger more collagen regeneration in the skin. They can help make the skin structure better. But they do that by damaging the skin. That is critical for you to understand. The skin is not automatically going to start synthesizing more ceramide. It's going to create more ceramide only if it feels that the existing ceramide is now gone because the skin has been exfoliated and it doesn't have sufficient skin barrier to protect itself, so it's going to make more. So you have to initiate the skin damage in order for ceramides and collagen and everything else to start coming into place. These are the principles of skin regeneration. Dermatologists use hydroxy acids in controlled settings, wherein they're monitoring you. You are going to them for a consultation every few weeks or every few months, and they can track your progress and they can adjust the dosage. They can adjust things for you. So it's always good to use hydroxy acids, including salicylic acid, in the supervision of a medical professional or your dermatologist. But if you're using it alone by yourself, then make sure the concentration is low and make sure you don't use it for extended periods of time. And definitely not if you have pigment-prone skin or if you have existing pigmentation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of you are going to say to me that, Karan, I use hydroxy acids, I use a glycolic acid toner, I used a lactic acid cream, I use a salicylic acid serum, and my skin actually got brighter. Of course, because when your skin is generating pigment, the pigment gets deposited in the skin, and as the skin goes up and creates this dead layer of keratinocytes, they already have the pigment in it. Whenever something is dry and dead, it's going to be darker in appearance. Now, if you use hydroxy acids to exfoliate, that surface layer right at the surface is going to get peeled off and you're going to get brighter skin because you've removed that dry, dead layer from the top. You cannot remove the whole thing. You can through extensive chemical peeling that is done at aesthetic clinics around the world. But if you're using products at home with hydroxy acid, it's still going to remove a few layers of the skin. And when that happens, you're going to get brighter skin underneath. Imagine peeling an onion. The onion has a dry, dead layer on top. The moment you peel it off, you get a brighter, vivid layer at the bottom, and that's something that you feel, oh, it's brightened my skin. But that's not what's happening. Eventually, that live layer is also going to die, and this dead layer is again going to form. And because you've not really treated the root cause of pigmentation, your melanocyte, which is overactive, is going to continue to produce excess pigment, and you're going to get back to square one. So just because you're using hydroxy acid doesn't mean it's a permanent treatment for pigmentation issues. You have to use it continuously. But the problem again is if you use continuously, then the chance of inflammation increasing over time and then pigmentation increasing over time is very high. So again, if you have pigment-prone skin, try and avoid the use of hydroxy acids for too long. Use it in small concentrations. Use it for short periods of time. And if you still want to get rid of your pigmentation, then go for problem-centric brands, problem-centric products that write right on top of the product that this product helps reduce this problem. The problem has to be mentioned. If you're using problem-solving products, then you have a higher chance of getting results and getting closer to your skincare goals. And so search for those brands. Don't hide behind ingredients. I say this in every one of my videos. Don't hide behind ingredients. Don't think that it's got niacinamides, which is this juicy chemical that I should use on my face and I'm going to get brighter. Doesn't work, because the moment you hide behind ingredients, and brands also hide behind ingredients, you're going to end up using 20 different serums, and you'll play chemistry on your face, and then there are going to be cross reactions between these ingredients, and then your skin is going to get sensitive. Your barrier is going to get disrupted. A lot of other things are going to happen. And then the whole skin health has gone out for a toss. So use less products, use problem-solving products. If you want exfoliation, use a product that's for exfoliation that says that it can help reduce dullness and increase glow. But if it has hydroxy acids, use it for a short period of time and see. If your skin is tolerant to it and you're not developing pigmentation, then great, you can continue to use it infrequently or at low doses. But definitely, if you want to continue to using it for a long period of time, make sure that you don't have pigment-prone skin. So I hope with that you've understood a little bit about hydroxy acids, especially salicylic acid, and now you know better. Hit that like and subscribe button because you want continuous updates of the secrets of the skincare industry and ingredients behind the scene, what happens. You want to share this video with your friends and family who are using hydroxy acids, who have pigment-prone skin, who have acne issues, so that you can also blow their mind with this expose on salicylic acid. And definitely comment in the comment sections, read the description for other links to other videos of mine where I've exposed a lot of ingredients, and comment. Ask me questions. Tell me what your skincare regime is right now. And if I can answer those questions in the comments cell, I will do that. Otherwise, I'll make a separate video if the theme is revolving around a central topic. So with that, I'm Karan Ratti. Bye.